Hello, everybody! It's been a whole whopping 2 weeks, but we have missed you deeply and dearly. And once again, we are back. So, hello, hello, hello. If this is your first time tuning into the stream, welcome. Here at Graham Crackers, we are all about making memories with friends by playing MMORPGs, TTRPGs, and RPGs. Pretty much anything with a PGs at the end, honestly. But tonight, we are once again resuming episode 2 of our Homebrew 5e campaign, DM'd by the lovely Media Flare. And I am Graham, or Graham Crackers, so nice to meet you if this is your first time in. And tonight I will be playing Kellum Brightstar, or Captain Kellum Brightstar, depending on who you ask. But I am joined by some lovely, phenomenal, and fantastic friends and wonderful players and DMs. So without further ado, enough about me. I want to know about them. So there's 3 things I would love to know from each of them. 1, who are they? 2, who are they playing? And Media, would you like to come up with a question, or would you like me to come up with a question to ask them?
I'll leave it up to you this session.
Okay. My question is, what does your character do to unwind after a stressful day? Because I feel like that's where our characters are all going. So for me, Kellum likes to curl up with Fizzle, his squirrel familiar, read a good book, and sit with his fluffy slippers in a warm lit room next to a fireplace.
Gosh, bringing out the hard ones. Hello, everyone. It's me, Kari. I'll be playing Moirin. Tonight, the Triton Artificer. And what does she do to unwind? Probably very similar to Kellum, of reading over diagrams, probably, and maybe sketching new ones, of either going over a formula that she's trying to create or figuring out something new that she's trying to build with her little cauldron pearl nearby. And swimming, I think, is another one. She likes to go swimming.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jeremy, and I have the pleasure of playing Elric Freyson, Second Lieutenant Elric Freyson, on tonight's episode. And I would say that Elric's probably more of an active person, so he would either exercise to unwind or maybe utilize his longbow in appropriate places. And if not able to do either of those things, I think maybe he likes to write in his journal.
Hi, my name is Riley. I will be playing Gus today, the paladin. That's a tough question for Gus, because in the last 20 or so years, unwinding from stressful times was sitting alone in the dark. So I think the answer for him is more, he's got to figure that out still.
Hello, everyone. I'm Pharaoh. I'll be playing Bilaniel Amakir, or Ghost Step Bill, if you prefer. She, at the end of a long and stressful day, would like to share a glass of wine and a warm bed with someone.
And that brings it to me. I am Media Flare. I am going to be operating as the Dungeon Master for this adventure. And I would say, of an NPC, Professor Fizzlebang enjoys relaxing with a cup of espresso and a nice fluid dynamics book. That's probably their favorite topic. Very exciting stuff in there. And let's get back into things. We last left off in the middle of an alleged robbery happening. The city of Baldurin on the country of topsoil are hosting the 500th Suture Festival, 5 centuries of relative peace and sharing of wisdom and technology in Baldurin, in the industrial district or market district, rather, in a stable, repurposed to be an auction house, hosted by the famed LaRue. There was some bounty hunting going on. There was some hiding attempts to go on, and there was some asset recovery happening. A famed pirate known as Ghost Step Bill recently was mutinied and met a freed or escaped convict, depending on who tells the story, August West. And both of them decided that it would be great to collect some quick funds in some bounty hunting, because alleged criminals, Captain Kellum Brightstar and Lieutenant Elric Freyason, were seen entering the city. And they all gathered in this stable at this auction house. And to keep things that happened in the auction house short, some conversations were made. Everybody got to know each other a little bit, and a robbery attempt began, partially successful, before a floating staff held by an invisible Elric was noticed by the auctioneer LaRue, who then shouted for the guards, who sound like they are coming rather quickly, as if they were already tipped off. And we're going to just start off right away with everyone rolling initiative. I believe there's a system in Roll20 that I can turn on. There it is. Cool. How do I set it so that y'all can just add yourself? That's a system I don't understand.
So, the first thing you do is you want to drag our tokens onto the screen, or onto whichever page we're on, which I think...
Oh yeah, I can't see myself.
Sure. Here's some characters dragged into a screen. While we get our initiatives set up, I will also change the audio into something a little bit more exciting.
I can't add my token to the initiative order because I can't, see it.
You can't see your token?
I can't see anything. There's just black.
Yeah, it's just
Woo!
black. Do you have dynamic lighting on?
Yeah, I'm just going to open up a brand new tab and drag it.
No, I figured out what I figured out. I got you. That was from me fiddling behind the scenes. All should be able to see each other. Alright, everybody able to see?
I see Kari added into the initiative.
It's not letting me do it for some reason. It won't let me, there's no right-click menu.
Try refreshing the page. D20.
I think I can roll for you if you want me to.
I got an 11. I just can't enter it for some reason.
Let's see, 1 character, 2 character, 3 character, 4 character. We are just need Captain Kellum.
Yep. Farrah, if you want to tell me what you rolled, I can get it.
Yeah, I got a 16, but it's not letting me add it.
No worries. Got you up there. I got a 4.
Excellent.
The real wizard experience. There you go. It is in descending order for you.
All right. Well, so we are going to start off narratively excellent with Elric themselves. Just mere seconds ago, LaRue shouted for the guards. And you can hear armored footsteps outside. You are still invisible. You are holding a staff visible out in the air.
Oh man. With how wide is the entrance of this area?
It's like a 15-foot wide by 10-foot tall opening, so that animals and cargo can move in and out of the stable.
I think then Elric is just going to do his best to book it out of the building, while trying to remain invisible, and again making it look like this staff is just flying away.
Okay. You're trying to make it look like the staff itself is flying away, not that it is being carried by something invisible?
Exactly.
Okay, give me a deception check.
Oh boy. That's a 10.
All right, noted. So you are heading towards the exit of this stable. It doesn't take too much movement to get there in one turn. You are absolutely leaving, so you're stepping through like the flap out into the main streets?
Yes, yeah, trying to get out into the chaos of the city. So maybe perhaps if there is anyone chasing him, he could lose them.
Mm-hmm. So moving past the flap, this floating staff starts to leave the stables and head towards the crowds, but some persons in the nearby crowd separate, and coming through is an assortment of mostly halfling and gnome. There's a couple of water genasi and tritons, as well as a human or two, but a handful of guards, probably about a baker's dozen, led by one guard captain or sergeant, it looks like, and they're heading towards the stable. And I'm gonna just roll a die real quick. They've noticed the object magically leaving, and the guard shouts towards the rest of their team, "We've got a caster in the midst! Keep an eye out on the rooftops! Someone grab that thing!" And that is what you see as you come out. Would you like to react in any way? You'd probably still have an action and reaction.
I mean, I would say that the intent here at this point is to play keep away, and again to get maybe through the crowd or around this guard.
Alrighty. So then we are going to Ghost Step Bill. Things are getting a little chaotic. People are getting antsy.
So to my recollection, I know we saw the guards come in. Was anything shouted? Or do we have an understanding of where... Are they looking at us?
You heard LaRue say that it looks like there is some crime in the midst, and they shouted loudly for everyone to hear for the guards.
Okay, but they don't seem to be like honed in on our position yet.
Oh yeah, like as far as they're aware, you have nothing to do with this. Someone
Alright.
obviously picked up the staff somehow, though.
Okay. Not time to go guns blazing then. Alright, so Bill will pull out, rest a hand on a dagger kind of like shoved in through her belt on the hilt of it and lean forward. I think it is time for us to get you out of here, no? Let's go. Because she was leaning forward talking to Kellum.
Yeah.
When all this happened.
Is it a free action to respond, or should I
Yeah,
wait
so long as the
till
conversation doesn't last more than 6 seconds.
we need to get that device that's in the head.
What the fuck are you talking about?
I think that was 6 seconds worth.
Yep.
All right. So there's some sort of
Alright.
device.
Okay, what what is this hangar? What's...
I don't know what hangar we speak of, but at least for now, Bill, you're in a stable with probably about like 20-ish civilians, as well as the 2 or 3 staff members plus LaRue. Outside, it sounds like there are guards yelling about that staff that floated by.
And... Okay, so do I know... Sorry, I'm trying to recall exactly what was said, like, in front of me and what was other scenes that I was not in hearing range of. Did Kellum and Elric, I think they reconvened and had a conversation about needing the spell book, and that was while we were sitting in the row behind them, so we caught that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay.
I think the only other thing that Kellum had told you was that there is a device on the airship in a hidden compartment that he suspects needs to be removed because it's either dangerous or...
Okay, but I'm aware that you are missing a spell book and that is probably important to you.
Yeah.
Alright, then I would like to, irritated at this situation and trying to find some way to come out on top of it, kind of duck back and roll kind of down lower, like beneath the seats, and kind of sliding out into the chaos of the crowd, as I will try to hide as a bonus action. Would you like a stealth roll for that?
Yep.
Okay. Plus a 9, that is a 19. Alright, so I would like to hide and snake my way over and around and try to get towards the back of the auction area where everyone's focused on like the guards coming in. I want to try and get that spell book before anyone else does, because then I have leverage.
Okay, so make a perception check for me. And this will say happened a few seconds ago.
These are my exact 2 expertise skills. That's an 18.
Nice. Okay, so you don't know what happened to the book itself, as it is no longer in sight, but you did see a stick, the staff that Kellum mentioned, floating out the front door, if that helps your thought process.
Okay, so I don't see it here because I didn't see it.
It's no longer, like earlier it was pointed out, the wrapped up book on the table. It's no longer on the table.
All right, then I will action dash and try and follow the floating staff so I can wrestle the book from him.
All right. So you turn and run out the front door with the intention to catch up to the staff, which has not gotten far away. Floating just in front of you, and now you see the baker's dozen guards yelling about. What would you do, like, within range?
Well, that would be movement, action, and bonus action. So I guess.
What was the action?
Because I was a bit back, right? So I thought I'd have to like dash to get over and then out into the street where he is.
Well, fortunately, when y'all entered, you made it a point to stay near the entrance, further back from the rest of the auctioneers.
So I
you're
still
actually
have an
by
action.
the entrance. Yeah, you're good.
All right. Do I know about this invisibility situation? Was that communicated?
You saw Kellum
him cast
make
it,
them
right?
invisible. Yeah.
All right. Well, shite. This is a mess. Do I clock guards out here looking at the floating staff? I mean, right? They are.
There's, like I said, there's a baker's dozen of them. Some of them are looking like around, trying to find the caster that's making the staff levitate, but there is intention to try and grab the staff.
I don't have many spells for this fam. I guess I will. Honestly, I'll just kind of play through the crowd a little bit and maybe holds an action to kind of strike out at someone who might go in to melee range for him, because I don't really have a way to interact with this situation at the moment. I want to get it, but this isn't a place where I want to be the center of attention.
I didn't know I was muted. So you say you're holding an action to slap away someone who gets too close?
Yeah, to kind of strike out from the crowd at someone who's charging after the staff.
Okay.
Like a guard or like a thug. But I don't really want to take the staff or something from him and be the center of attention amidst a bunch of guards. So I'm going to play it safe this round.
All right, action held. Then the initiative will take over to Gus.
For lack
Hell
of
has
better,
fucking booked it out that front door.
yeah, and for lack of better options, he's gonna follow. And instead of once he sees what's going on, gets within range of everything happening, he's going to slow down a little bit, put his staff out in front of him, which he normally walks around without it. He's playing up the blindness real hard, and he's going to try to get between the staff and any guards trying to grab it, and very intentionally be in their way while looking unintentionally in their way.
So you're trying to look like you are not involved in this, but you want to. All right,
he's trying to look like a blind man who accidentally wandered into the middle of a fracas and got in the way.
Yeah, since you're playing a role, give me your choice of performance or deception.
Neither things I'm good at, but I'm gonna try it anyway.
Pick whichever one you're personally more confident in.
Let's see. Yeah, so he's gonna wander across and he's gonna put on a full performance. He's got his hands out. He's asking for alms for the poor, just begging, and he's gonna like accidentally swing his quarterstaff like into the guard's shin and try to trip him up a little bit. Just be a general menace, slow him right down. I'm gonna do a performance check on it. 15.
15. All right, noted. Doing the rolling on my side. All right. And you said you're going to try and trip one of the guards?
Not really like intentionally trip, just kind of prevent them from, just to get in their way, obstruct their path to the staff.
Okay, so you're doing a help action of imposing disadvantage.
Yeah, that'd be a good interpretation.
Awesome. Okay. All right. So then the guards now respond to all of these things going on. Of the dozen guards that show up, about 6 of them are looking through the crowd and keeping some people back, and some of them are looking up to the rooftops. One of the 6 of them is casting some sort of like magic detection spell. This is standard operation, and the rest of them try and circle this floating staff and try to grab at it. Bill, you were holding action. I would say 2 of the guards are trying to approach to just kind of like dive on the staff if you wanted to respond in some way to that.
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna stab out from the crowd, kind of at one of them as they're going past.
Estate.
Would you say, do I have advantage because I'm stealthing, or?
I'd say go for advantage. Right now, you are not a priority to them.
Okay, I really needed that because that was going to be an at 1. All right. A 14? Does a 14 hit?
A 14 is going to hit one of these guards.
Okay. I guess we're gonna roll a bunch of dice then.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's a d4 and 2d6. Yeah, okay. And then other things too. And it's from the grave. All right. 6, 10, 13, 15 plus 3, 18 to the guy I'm stabbing. And then 2 damage to some other person, that the other guard that he's running along with.
Okay. So these 2 guards run up to try and tackle this floating staff, and a blade out from the crowd stops one of them permanently as a guard is taken down. And as the other one turns to react to this killing in the street and recognizes the face of someone who is on wanted posters, the guard shouts, It's Silvertongue's first mate! It's Ghost Up Bill! They're doing it!
You motherfucker!
And so the guards, now divided in this, the one who shouted is going to divert its attention towards Bill. So there are less people trying to get at the staff, at least. Running up, they are going to try and attack. Oop, only one of those. So a 23 to hit is definitely gonna. Or 11 slashing damage. And then the other 4 are gonna split 2 and 2 now. 2 of them going towards Bill as well in an attempt to catch this new bounty. So I'll make 2 attacks. One of them a 10 and the other one a 13.
Neither.
May have been caught by the first one, but you are ready. And the other 2 are going to still try and tackle this floating staff. I'm going to give them disadvantage because they don't know it's actually a body holding a staff. So let's see here. 10 and 15 to connect to Elric.
And where did my AC go? 15.
The 15 will?
Yeah.
Okay. Give me a contested strength check to keep that thing in your hand as it gets yanked.
Ooh, I rolled the 6.
Oh, I rolled a 7.
All right.
Hot dog.
Both of you are not really sure what's going on. All right, the guard fails to grab onto this thing, but you see like the gears kind of turning in this guard's head. But all right, this floating staff has a weird pull to it, but it's not processing. They still think the staff is flying. That's all but the guard captain, hearing the name of wanted criminal Ghost Step Bill, now kind of understanding what's going on. Keep that staff away from them! As they take their sword and draw their gauntleted hand along it, and some sort of like greenish oil coats the weapon for a second before bursting into flame as the weapon ignites, and the crowd then begins to just start separating. They're no longer bystanders and spectators. They are now fleeing the scene as this guard turns on their lethal weapon. And in their offhand, they're going to pull out a hand crossbow and shoot it at Bill because they don't feel like making the range yet.
Phew. A 10.
All right, there's a lot of people in this crowd, all right? Hopefully there wasn't any civilian damage during that. But it is now Kari's, or rather Moiden's turn. Everyone's running outside. It's just you and Kellum inside right now. You can hear guards shouting, and the crowd now is going from like, ooh, what's going on, to, oh my god, we gotta go! And full panic outside.
Yeah, I think... What is Kellum doing? I forgot what he's... Yeah.
There was a very poignant, pensive look on his face. You can clearly see that he is trying to decide whether to just make a break for it, or to make a bead for the crashed ship to get that secret compartment.
Yeah, she's gonna make that decision for him, because he appears to be frozen deer in the headlights, I think is what she's reading from this, of like, I don't know what to do. And she's like, okay, we're getting out. Like, we are leaving. So Muiren is going to take Kellum by the arm and say, we've got to go. And she's going to head for the nearest exit.
Nearest exit would be the front door. So grabbing Kellum, and you're not resisting, are you?
No, I won't.
Okay,
There's a
then...
forlorn look towards the shipwreck of like...
Okay, so without any resistance, you are assisted in movement as the two of you leave and see the staff surrounded by some guards, and the crowd is now running in all directions, and some guards are surrounding Billamine, and no one's fully processing that Gus is a member of this chaos. There's just an old person that needs to evacuate but is not listening.
Well, so I come upon this scene, and Elric is getting surrounded by guards.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What is around, potentially over top of, or I guess something that could be destroyed nearby, like some property damage that might be done that might distract or impede the guards as they try to surround Elric?
Okay, so there are a type of street light that exists here that would have like glass bulbs around ever-burning flames. All of the buildings here are fancy enough to have windows. Those are also breakable. And I would say on the street is a currently unattended wagon with a horse still attached that could also be used.
Excellent. Any sort of tarps or things held up by rope that could be like dropped onto them or into their way that would make things inconvenient?
You could always, between all of that, you could knock over one of the lampposts or startle the animal in some way.
Yes.
Cause the cart to roll backwards, maybe.
Yeah, we're gonna go with attempt to startle the animal, which is something that might be pretty easy because she has this fun, flashy multi-tool, and if she like flashes that open a few times and like makes scary advances at the horse, maybe it will just balk and sort of, cause a scene in that direction.
Your choice, intimidation or animal handling?
We're gonna go with either one because they're exactly the same. Woo! So I'm gonna go with animal handling because that just seems more appropriate with what she is familiar with. So she's banking on her knowledge of how animals tend to react. Sure, she's more used to things like sharks or like dolphins, but horses can't be that much different, right, than similar aquatic creatures. All right, that is a 9.
A 9. Luckily, it is very chaotic already. So the addition of you running up and turning on this machinery in front of the horse, it panics and starts to try and run away. Still attached to its wagon, it kind of carts around and is causing a bit of chaos in the street now. There's definitely a hazard. All
right, excellent. I think that is going to be the extent of what Mirren wants to do because she doesn't want to hurt the guards of her city. She doesn't know what's going on, but she also doesn't want Elric to be in danger. That's her friend. He helped her so much this morning.
Well, roll a D100 for me.
Sure. That's not ominous at all. That is 19.
Damn. All right. It's incredibly awkward to realize that the slain guard in the street, although not a close friend, is someone you have had dealings with in the past.
Yeah, there's a moment of like, she's like, oh my god. She's having a moment. She's got Callum at one arm, and she's like basically doing this number. She notices who's on the ground, trying to do her own deep breathing exercises, because you know what? She's a doctor. She knows this is panic, and she should not be panicking. This is not great.
So I mean that's all movement, and you did act on the animal, so then we will say Captain Callum.
So Kellum is dragged outside of his tent, sees the slain guard, sees Bill.
Kind of like ducked down with a weapon out.
How many people are around Bill? How many are around?
There, the 6 and 6 got split up in a bunch of weird ways, so there are 3 guards on Bill, 2 on Elric, and the rest of them were looking out for other casters, but now that they hear the call for the culprit, might then join the fray.
Okay. Also, it's crowded and there's a lot of civilians. So what I will do instead is, do I see these spellcasters? Can I make out any spellcasters among them, like at the moment, like that may be behind the lines?
Your passive insight is high enough to know that there is one caster in the group that was looking at the rooftops who is casting a detect magic spell, and the other caster is currently lying on the ground, crumpled in their own blood.
I would like to take the dash action and drag Mirren away.
Just assist movements.
Yeah, like,
Mirren is currently babbling of like, oh my god, that's about the person who is dead on the ground and how they know them.
Just keep moving, I'm sure they're just sleeping.
Which direction are you running? It's a big city, got a lot of different directions to go.
Let's see. Where would Elric, I would assume I'm headed towards the hangar where all those airships are, because that is the only place that's been mentioned by everybody as the quickest escape. So in the direction of the hangar.
In the direction of the hangars. All right. So you are turning and rushing towards essentially the heart of the city. You're heading inward more. How are you moving about the city? Are you going to be trying to go in the main streets, looking for back alleys and open doors? Are you going onto the roof?
I think
Where's this chase scene going?
It'll be back alleys, and I will be utilizing Mirren's knowledge and trying to distract her from the dead body by saying, which turn comes next? Where are we going? What is this? And prompting questions, like rapid fire questions, to keep them like.
And quite honestly, this would work.
Okay.
Mirren is very much distracted by one, she has a compulsive need to answer any question that is asked of her. So that's because she wants to be helpful. And then 2, it's a problem-solving activity, and that seems to distract her quite handily from the distressing knowledge of, oh my god, I just saw that person this morning. They were fine. Why are they dead? Why is any of this happening?
All right.
As we're setting out the tent, I do want to say one thing, which is not under my breath, but lightly I will say, Rexon Dragil.
Rexon Dragil.
Which is the prompt for Elric's ring, which was under my seat.
Oh wow, way to just spoil it.
I'm so sorry.
Right.
For the sake of the Drake, he has been.
We'll go a little
instructed to
faster
guard.
here. You are now going.
Rexandra will follow Kellum. Elric, of course, is going to make his way most likely to the hangars, as Graham stated, that was really kind of the only location mentioned in the city that I think had the most pliable escape route. So, but he doesn't have anyone to lead him. So I think he's just dodging through alleys and jumping through windows and running through doors, just trying to get away and get lost
Okay,
in
before
the city.
any of that, we do need to resolve something that was going to get resolved. You have an asset that you had left behind. It needs to act as well.
Yeah, the Drake.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's going to remain with Kellum's, like guarding him essentially, entailing him the whole time.
Okay, then. So for everyone's narrative understanding, coming out from the stable during all of this chaos, can you describe to me what this looks like?
I can. At Kellum's side, is smaller in comparison, and when I say smaller, I mean the size is small, is a creature set on all fours, and in this instance of observation, it has sharp golden eyes that burn intently, and if you were to look in them, they would hold your gaze unbroken. Very much an assertive dominance in them. In an angular skull, giving this sort of ominous appearance, it does have two short horns atop, protruding back. And they sit above a small crest of silver feathers, acting as a sort of mane. The coloration of the scales is jet black. A short neck runs down from its head to a slender flame like that of a frame like that of a cat. Sorry, and on its four limbs, it does stand dignified yet ever poised, as one again might think a cat would. And of course, its tail is narrow and sword-like in an edge. So yeah,
As this creature comes out with Kellum, there is a shift in reactions in the crowd. What once was just a robbery going wrong suddenly became a much bigger catastrophe as a small dragon is sighted in the middle of the city. The sergeant of the guard is going to grab at a horn on their hip and blow. And as this very high-pitched frequency comes out of this magical device, like a dog whistle, barely perceptible from all of the other chaos going on, everyone's got enough of a passive insight to know that that is some sort of warning call. And they start shouting at civilians to evacuate, even if they aren't already. And then, Elric, continue your turn.
well, again, Elric is just running through alleyways and, as I said, jumping through windows and running through doors.
Are you
just trying to get
following
through the
Kellum,
city.
or are you taking your own path?
I would say that in a way he is following Kellum, but he is trying to maybe divert the path a little bit so that way anybody that is chasing him aren't going to bunch up and chase after Kellum. So his direction is probably going to be a lot more flawed because he does not have a guide, but he is doing his best to stay out of civilian way.
Okay, so you're trying to follow Kellum, but not be in the same spots as them. Can I get a group survival check from? Well, actually, here I'll figure out where everyone else is going first, and then we'll figure out the maneuvering of it. So Elric and Kellum and Boyden are all running in relatively the same direction. What about Bill?
Well, I think with the guard captain shooting at me and two folks directly on me, right?
Yep.
Seems like a place I don't want to stand as a rogue, not a barbarian. This sounds painful. I would like to bonus action disengage And in doing so, not like a jump back, but like a jump and kind of flip into the air. As I have a fly speed. I will kind of with my rapier out. I guess, you know what? I'll stab at this guy. No. I want to action dash. Never mind. No stabbing. I will, I guess call over to the blind guy because I don't want him to get all lost in all this. I don't know if we have any word of meat. I see them running in the distance, right?
Mm-hmm. It's incredibly obvious now. There's a fucking dragon.
Yeah.
This is not a common thing.
I will call over. Guess I think it is time to go.
Yeah, it's getting a little crazy.
Excuse me, old person, you need to evacuate. There's a dragon.
Which way do I go?
And just leave. Please evacuate.
This way?
Civilian.
Okay, so then I guess what I will do to give him kind of like a general gist of which direction I'm going is in my disengage and turn and like dash where I start flying. I will intentionally kind of like shoulder bump him in the direction that I'm going. Which is about all I can do for you, I'm sorry. Because I don't know where they're going. So I'm going to, from there, head up and try and, like, kind of dive over and land on a roof and then take off, like, watching where they are from above.
Okay, kind of staying roof level.
Yes.
Okay, noted. All right, then Gus, how are you following everything?
Oh, well, that's a good question. He's going to move in the direction that he got bumped, just for lack of any better option. And he's kind of done with these guards. He doesn't want to stick around them too closely. He's not going to move quickly. You know, he's going to be the last one to get wherever they're going, but he's just going to kind of make his way through the streets in that direction, and navigate as best as he can with his 10 feet of ability to see.
All right, so then everyone is going to be making a survival check. There were 2 opportunities for disadvantages, but party members covered each other nicely, so everyone is rolling flat.
Hooray! I got a 23.
Nice.
That helps.
7, all right.
That's a big old 2 for me.
And a 2.
I would like to point out that I have a +1, so that's a nat 1.
Ooh.
Elric also received a 7.
Awesome.
Like the one thing he's good at.
Yeah, I got an 11. I don't know if I can. If that'll help with what just
Definitely
happened.
under 10, average
So although Moyden very much
Incredibly.
knows where to go and is giving directions, it's a bit chaotic. Y'all keep getting lost and making wrong turns, running into dead ends. It's easy enough for Bill to follow from the rooftops, but they aren't making progress, so neither are you. Luckily, Gus, they have not gotten far. So even though you are struggling to figure out where things are, you hear like a reptilian like coming from somewhere, and someone's like, "Dragon!" But fuck, if you have any idea what's going on.
Oh, put me back in prison.
All right, so
If there is a point where the guards have either rushed past Gus or are not like trailing after him, I will drop down by him and kind of put a hand on his shoulder and be like, "They went off this way."
Well, you lead the way. I can't fly.
We all have our shortcomings, but you know, you try.
well, so due to the difficult navigations happening right now, the guards do manage to keep up with the party, but it does seem like they are keeping an intentional distance for now. Those with ranged weapons will utilize them. So let's see here how many people actually can do ranged attacks. We're going to say one crossbow fired at the black and silvered dragon. Pew! Goddamn. 21 to hit with the hand crossbow on the little dragon. Pew! For 4 piercing damage. And then oops, killed my monsters. Just gonna roll a d20 plus attack bonus. A 13 to hit with a firebolt.
Also on the drake?
No? Okay, so the caster shoots a firebolt into the alleyway and it splashes against the brick wall of a house, and then the arrow hits the dragon baby. What size category is dragon right now?
Small.
Yeah, the drake is small.
It's small. Small dragon.
Small.
Okay.
It's a pupper. But it got pierced with a crossbow bolt. All of the other guards only are armed with melee weapons, so they cannot do anything right now. And initiative ticks back over to Moyun. Chaos.
Yeah, chaos. I have asked about the dragon at this point of why are we being chased by a lizard? Yeah.
Just like running along
Where-
on carts and kind of like
Where
scraping
did that come
walls.
from? Why are we being chased by lizards? And she's like jumping over carts and dodging people.
It's a friend. It won't hurt you.
It's getting hurt. And she's going to call back. You're okay. I promise. And she's going to cast Healing Word. It's worth a drake. So she's going to do that. That is 9 damage. Healed.
Aw. Returns to no harm on this dragonling.
Exactly. Because, yeah, that would be really sad. And I think that's a bonus action, but that is a spell, so I can't cast these spells. However, does a racial ability count?
It does not count as a spell.
Excellent! So that can be my action. So, I think she's going to cast Fog Cloud behind them. So as she basically sends that healing energy towards the drake, that sort of blue glow seems to expand behind the drake and sort of creates this like fog bank, sort of attracting the moisture in the air, it seems, to just sort of make a little curtain that forms there as a fog cloud. Hooray!
Nice.
And that's,
Fog
I think,
cloud deployed.
a lovely fog cloud.
All right. That it for Moyden?
Yes, in that range, it is 20-foot radius and will
Right.
last for an hour.
Definitely fills the shit out of this alleyway. Captain Kellum Brightstar.
Exactly. So I've covered our behind so that hopefully they can't make those ranged attacks at us.
Good use of your spells. I am going to cast Mage Armor on myself. Now that I have a second. I'll pick my AC up to 15. And
Nice.
I'll continue moving my 30 feet movement. And then for a bonus action, let's see what I got. As we've been running, have there been any... Can I hear any signs of people like trying to cut us off from up ahead? Or
Make a
is it-
perception check.
Nat 1 for a 4.
No clue.
No clue.
Too much going on.
There's a lot. In which case I'm going to move by 30 feet, and that is that.
All right, so you armor yourself up and move ahead. Elric, it's you and the Drake's turn.
Yeah, so I mean, Elric's just dashing and essentially following after Kellum and Moirin. and he's not very skilled right now because he's still invisible. Yeah, so he doesn't want to blow that. I think even though it's a floating staff, it's still a staff, so it might be difficult to see in the distance.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, he's just chasing after Kellum, and as far as Rixandrigo goes, I think he's far enough away to where he wouldn't be able to hear Elric give him any other command than what he was ordered to do, which was guard Kellum.
Okay. Bill.
Oh dear. All right. So there's a fog cloud like in our face now.
Just the alleyway
now
is
I'm
chilled.
as blind as he is.
Everyone's
Okay.
blind.
Why'd you stop? Why'd you slow down?
I cannot see someone who's casting spells here. All right. Being that how it is, I shall. I guess. How close are the guards that we're chasing and shooting? Are they ahead of us, behind us? Where are they in between, like, Gus and our group? Myself,
They're
Gus.
currently behind all of y'all, but within just 50 feet.
Okay. Then I guess I will push off of the ground and jump into the air. Above the fog cloud, can I see where they are, or are they also within it?
You fired it behind you, right? Okay, so yeah, they're ahead of the cloud in a further alleyway is Kellum and Moivin.
Okay, and the guards, are they also in the fog cloud, or are they further back?
They're further back.
All right. Then I guess I will. Would it be attacking from stealth if I'm jumping out of a fog cloud and using a crossbow? Or would you like me to bonus action hide as well?
Yeah, I would require some amount of stealth for this, yeah.
Oh, I guess I don't have a crossbow. A short bow. Whatever. A thing. Yeah, sure, I'll bonus action hide for a 28.
Nice.
Okay. Then that'll be a sneak attack, I guess. For some damage. 11.
Thanks to
14.
Tiny Poison, who just gave a crit to the
15.
squad.
Ah!
Love you.
Yay! Okay, that is 17 on whichever of them looks like the biggest threat. I don't know if any of them like clock me when I come up, but like I will turn the bow and like before I drop back down into the cloud and vanish.
All right, so another guard is taken out as Bill disappears back into the smoke.
And then I will use my movement to continue running.
Okay, August.
He's gonna keep moving through the fog because he doesn't really notice it. Once Bill flies up, he's just gonna keep moving in the direction that they were moving in before, using all of his action, all of his movement as fast as he can to keep moving in that direction. Would that get him within 10 feet or so of Kellum and them, or are we further back than that?
I would say everyone is still roughly within 10, 15 feet of each other. Everyone
Okay.
ran at the same time. Everyone's getting just as lost as each other, so...
Yeah, so he's gonna just catch up with the leader leading the with the group ahead of him and just follow.
And as you're chasing, you can hear the sounds of some sort of reptilian creature scurrying over things and following along. It seems to be following, not chasing, from the way it moves.
He's gonna count his blessings on that and just hope it doesn't try to eat him.
Cool, noted. All right. Everyone give me a survival check again as you try and navigate the streets.
19.
19, nice. All right,
I got a nat 20 for 21.
nice.
That's 10 for me.
All right.
And 18 for Elric.
All right. So the party is a bit better focused this time as Moyden points them the way through the alleyways, now disguised or obscured temporarily with this fog cloud. I'm also going to ask for a group stealth check to see if you can try and shake your tail momentarily.
So, Weirin, being that she has a prosthetic limb, it clanks pretty obviously when it hits, it hits cobblestones. She's got a, what's that stealth? That's a 6.
All right.
Nat 20.
Nice.
I got an 8.
Okay.
I don't think I rolled a 10 all day.
Not yet, no.
I got a 26. I don't
Okay.
exist.
Nice.
Yeah,
And
my 20 was a 25 total.
15 for Elric.
15 for Elric. So we have a miss. Nope, that's all 5 of Ian's. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So for the time being, noises aside, it is pretty chaotic. The party moves down a few alleyways and starts to shoot towards the heart of the city, the financial district, where there is a large hangar that allows landing and takeoff for airships. Getting pretty close to the building, and it seems like, at least for the time being, you have lost your tail. So let's put a little bit calmer music going on here. And we'll fall out of initiative for now, as you all have hidden away in the alleys from the chaos. As this is happening, though, you all hear the sound of an alarm being played through some audio device, a loud siren blaring through the city. Moyden, since you live here, you know that this is the dragon attack siren. All hands on deck, all guards active. The city is under attack.
Oh no. They think that your little friend there is like a real full-sized dragon. And those are the dragon attack sirens, and that's not good. Whatever this, none of this is good. Absolutely zero of this is good. But that's, they're going to be putting out the anti-aerial attack. And she starts like muttering about like all the defenses that they have against dragons and things that will impede them, and she's just sort of like,
So what's the quickest way to get out of the city?
right now, I guess it's, and she like gestures to the hangar, but she also just talked about, but they have things to shoot things out of the sky.
Hey,
I assume they do.
pleasure to make your acquaintances. So we kind of roll into the alley, I think. Okay.
Wait, weren't you talking? Were you talking to these people? You're from the. Yes. Okay. And she's
I
just
might
like,
look a little different, but you know.
same people from the tents. Okay. Where's Elric? And she's looking for the floating staff.
The staff comes flying at Kellum's head.
With
ducks.
With a whistle, he warns. He gives you a whistle, and he tosses the staff to you.
I was like looking at my dex score. I was like, "Am I dexterous?"
How oblivious am I?
It's a 14. He's probably
He's
got
alright.
at least
He's okay.
played like 2 years of baseball level of coordination. So Kellum will catch it and kind of like fumble it a little bit. I go, well, that worked out not very well. Mirren, I am so sorry about.
Why did they
I
ask
did
you?
not intend for anyone to get hurt. I didn't intend for anyone to die. All I wanted to do was get my stuff back and get whatever item is in that crashed ship away from the city.
I mean,
Why
you
are
didn't
they
even,
trying to...
you didn't even look at the crate.
I was dragged away.
Oh
What
my
is-
god, I
What
ran
is
the
in
opposite
this
direction.
crate? Why do we care about the crate? Why do we care about the crash ship? What is going on here? Can anyone tell me that? If you can't, then we should just go. Let's leave before worse happens, because worse is going to happen if they find any of you, and especially you. And she gestures at the dragon. That's what those sirens are for. It's for that thing. Is that yours?
Yeah.
Those
Rexandria.
are dragon-killing sirens.
Oh, is that what
If you
that
want your
weapon
little
is?
friends to live, we should leave.
Elric bends down and he like puts it in his pack and closes the hood. It's like, sorry about that. He was supposed to guard kill him, but Rex isn't really good at following orders.
Well, he followed this really well. He kept up really nicely, but it's not his fault. Anyway, Chris, and she's just like looking and thinking and looking.
I think it is perhaps time for us to have a conversation.
We should duck in somewhere. They're going to just find us if we're just standing out about like a bunch of, I don't know,
You're the
seaweed in the
local
wind.
here. Don't you have some? And I look you over and do this like once over of what is the make of this person. Some workshop with books we can talk in.
What is the triangulation of that from this position? This
You
position.
have like, I don't know. I think
So- Moiden,
Yeah.
you would know that your lab is down by the shoreline, but you do know that there is a personal office for Royzig in the financial district when they have meetings with their like coworkers.
Exactly. Well, our lab is down by the shoreline, complete opposite direction. In pretty much any direction you could go. But Ryzik, my mentor, he has an office somewhere around here. We could probably duck in there.
That sounds like a good plan. Give us a moment
Right.
to coordinate our bearings and we'll figure out the next step.
Exactly. So she's going to take a moment and, of course, observe where she is in the financial district and lead them to that office.
Okay. Are you heading straight there, or are you trying to continue to lay low?
I think she's trying not to be obvious. Like, she's definitely, I guess, slowed the pace to like look like hurrying, evacuating citizens and not a bunch of criminals.
Okay, give me a group deception check. As nothing to see here, hands in the pockets, dragons in backpacks. Obviously not part of the crimes, what are happening.
Yeah. As we're going, I would like to cast Disguise Self on myself.
Okay. Then give your deception with advantage with disguise self.
Yeah.
15. Hey, we finally got above
15?
10.
All right. There you go.
Moirin
Otherwise,
is
it would've been
unfortunately, this girl is too sincere for this world. And her deception check is a 9.
Just loud whistling in the middle of the street.
She just looks uncomfortable. She looks uncomfortable with this whole situation, and that just broadcasts through everything she's trying to
looking
do.
over her shoulder everywhere she goes.
Exactly, she's
And
having a
every time
time.
there's a noise just going,
All right, so 3 more waiting for.
14 for Gus.
14 for Gus.
13 for Elric.
13 for Elric.
I believe that's a 16.
And a 16 from Bill. All right. So tension is high right now. The guards are out in mass, and they are coming out in heavier and heavier armor. Like the guards that were already on duty couldn't get back to the armory, so they're out in their leathers and blunt weapons. But there are people coming out in like plate mail crossbows. There are artilleries like popping out of buildings from hatches, and torches are lighting up, creating these magical blue beams across the sky to create additional illumination. It's still like early afternoon. But luckily, it's so chaotic that those undisguised wanted faces are not important, and you manage to slip your way through the crowds, through the city, to a kind of small apartment building style brick structure. It is set up so that there's just a good dozen equal-sized simple rooms inside so that people can use them for business meetings and or like small gatherings. You have a spare key to this office because you have been here before for meetings. And as the party gets in and at least secures themselves for now, this is where we can go on break.
Ooh, all right. Well, we will see you all shortly. Get a snack, get some water. Don't cry too much, because I'll do all the crying for you. See you in a little bit. everybody. We're back. I hope you didn't miss us too much. I cried the entire time. I was inconsolable.
Well, to catch up the people at home on a quick recap of what has been going on in the first half of this session, shenanigans ensued. The guards were called, and the party decided the best way to cover up a crime was to commit a bigger crime to distract them, and revealing a small baby dragon in the middle of the city that was 500 years ago leveled by dragons. They summoned the dragon alarm around the city. All the guards are out in droves, and the party is currently hidden inside a small office space. This is a gnome's office, so it is very small. The ceiling itself is probably only 8 feet above the ground. There are a few medium-sized chairs, but it looks like it's mostly built to accommodate for small folk. The majority of the races living in topsoil are small. In the office itself, there are no windows, but there is a pull-down map of the world of Maru. There are various notepads and thrown away scrap papers sitting in this center council table. There is also a pair of calendars in the room, one of which is a common calendar to track the cycles and rotations of highlight to low light and the revolution around your sun, Stachi, in order to keep track of seasons and years. And then the more complex calendar is a 11 by 13 slab of constantly moving and rearranging gears and contraptions that are designed to keep track of the planetary shifts that happen in your universe. The coast is at least clear for now, and the party has a lot of talking to do.
So Marion locks the door, makes sure that the hatches are battened down, and honestly pulls down the map, because that's part of what she would do as part of, I think, a normal meeting. Is she's going through the motions of setting up now that she's here, because what else can she do? She's just sort of fallen into the pattern. So she's straightening up the chairs, and she's going to sit in one of the very few medium-sized chairs. There's maybe 3 for herself and I think her fellow medium-sized graduate students, and then the rest of them are small. And she's gonna take a moment, and she's gonna reach out and take a little pad, and then she's gonna face everyone. So, what the hell was that?
We were gonna ask you the same thing.
I just live here. Who are you? Why are they chasing you? Why are they chasing you?
You just live here, and you are mystically in cohorts with some known criminals, and I will pull out.
Criminals.
I will pull out.
Me run my stall this morning, and she points at Elric.
Hang on a second.
I'm gonna pull out the 2 wanted posters with their faces on them, and press them down on the table and slide them towards you.
And of course these say conspiracy and treason, and she just looks like a kicked puppy, especially looking at you, Elric. You see this poor woman's betrayed face.
You're guilty. You're as guilty as they are now for aiding and abetting.
She is also looking like, what? No.
There is a sheepish look on Callum's face, and he just goes, I have not committed a single crime. Unlike someone who committed murder and theft. Today, no less.
She just looks to Bill.
We've been framed.
and a look to Elric. Like, honestly, at this point, I think Weirin is trusting more Elric because she has literally spent the entire morning with that man.
Framed or not, you're worth a pile of gold.
To whom? Who would want us? A disgraced captain, apparently, and a fallen lieutenant. This makes no sense. Even if we did commit conspiracy and treason, it doesn't make any sense.
As far as I am concerned, 30,000 dragons for you, 28,000 for you. That's enough for our airship.
And does that not seem a little suspicious to you? Do you think they intend to pay? Well, I don't even know what you are. A pirate?
Alternative sailor.
Thief? No, they would kill you as soon as you turned us in.
Of course.
Is Graham's volume very low? Still? Or did it get better?
Is it better now?
We'll find out in 15 to 30 seconds.
Yes, now I'm very loud, hopefully.
Now we're no friends to law enforcement.
No, not at all.
All we're really looking for is a way out of here.
It seems like you may be a ticket.
How so?
Well,
That's your problem. We're not gonna bring the guards here, and you're gonna get us off of this planet, or out of this city.
it seems as though all of us are in a predicament. We are landlocked in a place that none of us want to be. Well, except you. I'm sorry. You do just live here?
Yes. I was going to present my wonderful invention at this. And I was going to get more funding. And I was going to have so many things.
Well,
And now my friend is dead. I'm surrounded by criminals.
Dear girl.
And my...
Darling,
what am I
calm
going
yourself.
to do?
Calm yourself. Now, I believe I had a better vantage point. I did not see any of the guards particularly trained on you. Captain Callum Brightstar. And so, perhaps they are not aware that you are in cohorts, unless you have more pertinent information than I was able to ascertain.
I think it's a little too late to play not involved now that you spoke with the auctioneer.
Is that why they came in running?
It has to. I mean, when I said that it was his stuff, they looked thrilled. Just right strange. And she's gonna go back to looking at the posters again and go, wait a second. Wait a second. That whole thing was weird.
Do I get the sense that the auction was a trap from the beginning?
Give me an insight check.
Right, what is my insight? +3. That is a 19.
Judging from the sequence of events, it may not have been LaRue's trap, but it definitely was put into the auction as bait. Like, there's no reason that your property were being sold as ancient artifacts besides to either just get some petty coin or get you called out.
They wanted us here. They want us to find it. There's no reason that the goods on our ship would be peddled as ancient technology.
What was on that ship?
Say again, get quiet.
What was on that ship? What's in that box that you're looking for?
I don't know.
That they're looking for?
I don't know. It was... Our task was to ferry it, not to look at it under any regards. And I think it's the reason why everyone turned on us and fired on our ship out of the sky.
Question. So from here, or I guess just generally, what would be, I guess, the safest way to get people out of the city that Murin would know?
Well, weather and calendar dependent, the safest ways to travel in and out of this city would be via the via the star trains or an airship. As far as the calendar looked recently, the fire was on the celestial side, so it shouldn't really be high in dragon weather. So flight isn't like a bad option, but if there's a shift, then the weather would be unsafe. Otherwise, there's also boats. But besides those who live on the Silver Shard Islands, no one's really been good at maritime navigation since the dragons were born.
So, you know.
Oh, sorry. One more caveat is the easiest way to get out of the city, honestly, would just be to go down through Ceasefire, but there's some logistics going on with that one.
Well, the fact that none of these people can breathe or swim, is that
well,
logistics?
You'll be fine.
Exactly, I'll be fine. So she's gonna probably go over that. So, for those of you that want to leave, there's a few options, and she's looking at the calendars as she says this. The star trains and the airships are all weather dependent. The airship's more chancy than the star trains. The weather looks all right for now, but that can change. Additionally, the easiest way would be to go down through Ceasefire. No one goes down there but my people. So they certainly wouldn't be looking for any of you land folk going that way. And the boats are hardly ever used these days, unless you're living on the islands.
I'm uncertain if that fixes the long-term issue of a lack of air transportation.
No, but the longer we stay here, the more likely you are to be found. And if you're found and I'm with you, then everybody's in a whole nother boat that nobody wants to be in. There's only so long we can hang around in my teacher's office before he comes or someone else comes. He uses this place,
Where is there a place here that he would check that no one else would think to check except for him?
Oh, Slayer. You're muted.
Check for what exactly? Like people?
No. Asking if there's a place that if we left him a note.
Oh, okay.
That he would think to check, but other people wouldn't necessarily think.
Moira, give me an insight check with advantage. This is your mentor.
incredible. An 18 and a 19.
Nice.
So that's
you would
fun.
know that.
Hold on. I've got an insight.
Got
number.
pluses?
I just jumped. Yeah, I got some pluses. All right. So that's 21.
Nice.
For insight.
Your mentor, Professor Fizzlebang, is extremely obsessive about the functionality of their machines. And so if something were to be broken or not functioning properly, they would probably stop mid-conversation to fix it. So if you were to slightly damage something and then hide the note in it, it would be the easiest way to get it to fizz. Fizzlebang.
Right, yeah.
Sorry, there's multiple fizzes now.
Yeah.
That I say that.
It's the frizz. Anyway, he's obsessed about how his little machines work. So if we break one just a little and hide something in it, it's going to be the first thing he finds. He's not going to be able to continue a conversation until he fixes it.
So yes, is there a quill or any paper that I can write on?
Probably, and she's gonna look, I guess, through the desk that's probably in there,
Oh
since
yeah,
this is
plenty
also an
of
office.
writing stuff.
And so she's gonna find, I guess, the nearest little contraption that he uses, a pencil sharpener, something, one of his little gizmos. So she's gonna rummage and look for a little gizmo.
Well, the only gizmo in this room right now is the complicated clockwork calendar that's used to track shifts.
And she's almost pained thinking. She's almost pained thinking about damaging that. That was so much work. She personally also had to work on that. Mentally winces for the next grad student that has to calibrate that thing after she breaks it.
Do you think he'll be here in the next hour?
Do I?
So long as they don't stray from today's schedule. Granted, there is a city alarm going on. This was where they were going next, but it may or may not be delayed.
At this point, he was gonna be here. This was his next rendezvous on the schedule. Do I know who he was meeting with?
They didn't have a meeting, but they were going to come to the office to then link up with their co-creators of the underwater device.
Right. He was going to meet here to link up with his peers. They were all working on the same device together. But that's probably delayed with all that going around out in the streets. But yes, we'd probably be able to expect him, if not soon, relatively soon, if they didn't cancel everything altogether.
Wonderful. And I think at this point, if you've found a quill, I will grab it.
Yeah.
Start
it's I found writing utensils. And I'm here.
Yeah, so I'll just grab a piece of paper and start writing.
And she's going to look at the calendar and probably look at the least detrimental way to break this.
I don't think we'll have to break it. I'm going to prestidigitate a symbol of our college onto the device. Because I think one of the effects is you can create a... You make a color, a small mark, or a symbol appear on an object or surface for an hour.
Okay. So when you cast your prestidigitation and make a mark on the device, some sort of magical response cleans the writing off, keeping the metal shiny and in good condition. Seems someone is interfering with minor doodles.
Well, do you want the honors?
Yeah, she's gonna take. She's gonna take the little note, and she's actually going to flex her hand with her multi-tool, and it sort of pops out all her funky stuff, and she basically chooses her weapon to go at this. So yeah, whatever you want to do. She's going to try to break this in like the least obnoxious way.
Mm-hmm. Give me both a
but
religion
obvious,
and arcana check.
Sure. All right. So arcana is a 19.
Okay.
Religion is a 9.
Okay. So, two things happen. One is, since you helped build this thing, you know how complex it is, so you know simple ways to make a ticker kind of get stuck in a loop without having to actually break anything. So modifying the device wouldn't be too hard. But as you're getting ready to put one of the little arm tools into the machine, you notice something that doesn't make too much symbolic sense to you. But as you're getting ready to work on the machine, one of the suns suddenly jolts as if it had been building up pressure and flips from one side of the calendar to the other, the calendar to the other side. The calendar itself being essentially one of those dioramas of a planet, sun and all of the things, and they're all individually moving on little sticks of planets, and you watch as one just kind of went and flipped over to the opposite side of your galaxy.
Huh. That's weird. And she just sort of like tucks her things away because like that wasn't what she was trying to do, but that just sort of happened when she was sticking the thing in. That's strange. Anyway,
so those of us who have been alive long enough to see some shifting of things in the world, would this be more likely to mean something?
Anyone with a passive perception of 13 or higher can give me a religion check. Also, while everyone's making those checks, I have ideas for it, but I wanted to double check with Elric, who has possibly seen what is inside the crate. Do you remember what it looks like?
I can't say that Elric does. Maybe considering at the time things were chaotic. Not to mention, I'm sure he was getting tossed around a bit too.
Do you feel like you would remember it if you saw it?
I think he does have an analytical mind, so if he did see it, he probably would recognize it.
Okay, thank you. All right, so religion checks.
22 for Gus.
Woo!
12 from Kellum.
Okay.
That's a nat 1 for 2.
All right.
Oh, I got the opposite end. I got a nat 20 for 21.
Nice. So, religion, not exactly something military persons get trained on, so obviously the two of you were not going to pass that. But one of you living for a long time, Bill, and the other one having plenty of time to learn things, Gus. The way the galaxy works in this universe is each star and any planets inhabiting the star travels in a figure 8 pattern along the skein that is the universe, and its positioning is changed based on levels of faith in each particular god. So how long it takes to flip from one side to the other constantly is in change as well. So a huge advanced machine had to be created as a calendar so that priests didn't have to constantly like do surveys at their church to figure out how many people are really excited about their god today. Shifts happen at various times, but they do happen every like 10 to 20 years or so. And when they do, there's usually like a major weather shift of some type. Certain elements become more or less effective. Certain animals become aggressive or more docile. But you would know that it always happens with enough time for like scholars and priests to like announce to the world, like, hey, in 4 months there's going to be a fire shift, so make sure you're not flying because you're going to lose altitude real fast and stuff like that.
And okay, so the one that flipped, is that like specific to something, or is that
The little star that flipped looks like it represented the gray white star that represents the deity known as, where are they? Hywena. That is the deity of the water elementals. And they flipped very hard from the celestial to chthonic sides.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I am no tinkerer, but might be I have been around long enough to see some things, perhaps. Is this accurate?
I mean, generally,
This
you
represents
don't
the
think.
positions of
And she just nods slowly, and she gets an oh no look of like, wait a second, that wasn't a result of my tinkering. Was that an actual shift that literally like just happened? Like it's all coming.
I don't think you had touched that part of it. No.
No.
So a shift.
Right now. Immediately.
Power balance is changing.
She's actually like worried. Especially because this is water. I presume she at least knows what water shifts usually do.
Yeah, growing up in the sea, when Hywena shifts, depending on from what side to the other, she'll either become much more aggressive and tumultuous, but help in the migration of sea creatures and the transfer of like hot and cold pockets. And then when shifting in the opposite direction, they become extremely calm and rivers become very still, but waters become more pure and calm. So
right.
In this specific condition, they're going from calm to tumultuous.
Precisely. So, and this is also usually agreed with weather pattern changing. So, that's a mixed signal. Traveling's going to be much easier by water. Everything's going to be moving faster. But that's, I guess, the good side.
And what's the bad side? What is the bad side?
Storms, great waves, lots of migrations, changes in temperature, changes in just everything. When she flips like this, we're going from calm and still and purer, nicer waters to tumultuous and violent and aggressive waters. You might expect a storm, a pretty severe one, to be forming for it to flip that hard, that immediately. So flying's right out of the question. I wouldn't touch an airship. You couldn't pay me to.
Elric and Bill, can you give me perception checks as your passives pick up on the sounds outside, kind of shifting?
15.
9.
Okay. So the two of you both pick up on the sounds of like birds suddenly taking off in flight, the sounds of winds dying, and the sirens outside, for some odd reason, sounding more muffled. And Bill, you pick out through all of this that the voices outside, the sounds of panic and assertive military voices, all have died out. And there's like nothing but the occasional quiet murmur. And you notice that the cloud coverage is getting thicker. The early afternoon light is fading faster.
All right, so there weren't like windows in here, right? So I guess I put my hand on like the hilt of my rapier. As you're talking about like what this represents, I'm gonna slip towards the door and move like the handle and kind of creak it open to peek outside.
Okay. And you get a better view of what looks like an oncoming storm beginning to gather. The highlight shifting to low light does not feel like it's correlated to the clouds. It actually felt like the two moons have moved faster than they should. The air is damp, and you can see in the streets everywhere, like people also kind of looking around, confused and uncomfortable.
Okay, I guess I will kind of turn my head. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. I will slip outside and kind of leap into the air to move up towards like a roof where I can get a better vantage on the skyline and see what's happening as far as like clouds forming.
Okay. As you fly up to get an aerial view on the rooftops, the clouds are thick and moving fast, roiling over each other. You can hear the sounds of thunder rumbling. There is no wind, but the clouds are moving. You can see through the gaps in some of the clouds that the moon, known as Shadow Helm, that was up during highlight today is no longer there. It likely is now on the other side of the hemisphere. Down at the docks, which you can see somewhat from here, there are nasty, like 20 plus foot waves beginning to form as the docks become very busy as people are reacting to the sudden shift. And the alarm for the dragon warning gets drowned out by the sound of something either crashing into or blasting out of the water.
Can I see something large enough to make that sound?
Give me a perception check while you're on the roof.
Okay. 11 for 18.
18. So you can hear it. And you also hear the sounds of metal bending and snapping. But you don't see what's going on.
Okay, I'm gonna dive down off of the roof, rip open the door. It's time to get off of the land. We need to find a ship now.
Right.
Now.
Okay. Let's go.
Don't know if you've ever seen waves come crashing in from a storm, but it is time to move.
All right, lead the way, and I will tuck the note in.
Yep. Weird's actually kind of panicked because she's worried about the docks because that's where all of her people are at.
Mm-hmm.
And 20-foot waves are never good. Great, fantastic. So she's dashing out, I guess, at this news.
Someone keep an hand on Gus. Don't let him get lost in the land.
I can take care of it, and I'll put a hand on Gus's shoulder.
I will look down from above and see if I can see anything coming in, but you need to lead us from the ground to the hangar. and we will need to steal a ship. We are not staying here when those waves come crashing down. That is death. You
How
understand?
how long will it take us to get where we need to go? Yeah.
One. And I guess, am I taking them to the airships? Well, I use the airships.
Where are you
wanna
leading
go?
them?
Yeah, I think at that sound, it's like I can't take them to the water. I can't take them to the sky. That's the worst idea. She's gonna take them to the rail, the star rail.
Okay.
And the star trains. Because
Mhm.
that seems to be the safest bet at this point for safe and secure travel away from this point.
I
Okay.
guess would we know how impervious are they to weather? Like, have they crashed before? Like, stuff like that.
It's actually part of their marketing is that so long as the magic in the strange floating beacons that seem to guide the trains along above the water, so long as that magic continues to flow, the train isn't affected by wind or wave or even dragon breath. So long as nothing physically touches the train, it seems to shrug it off.
And and how many minutes would it take us to get to the train?
The train does not cross through the land. It also is a shore docking thing, so it would be down on the shoreline with the boats.
So like 10
Yeah,
minutes
and
or
that's-
so, or
Probably.
longer? Okay.
Yeah.
As we're walking,
10
then
minutes.
I'd like to cast
no.
cast water breathing on all of us.
Okay. How long does water breathing last?
24 hours.
Nice.
Yeah, it might not matter. Weird's probably a little bit ahead of you. She's like jogging and progressively getting faster the closer they get to the shore with how worried she is about what's going on there. But she breathes underwater just fine, so it's not like she's missing out on water breathing. She's fully aquatic.
I will play sentry and kind of watch from above, kind of jumping from rooftop to rooftop.
But what does it look like at the docks? Like, how are people? Are they doing okay? Are they injured? What's going on?
That's a good
As they're
question.
approaching.
Since it's about a 10-minute walk, is there anything else anyone is doing along the way, Elric or August? Anything that needs to be said or prepped?
I'd say that Elric would grab Kellum's shoulder or elbow or something as they're about to leave and say, "Captain, I'm not entirely sure we should be taking up the civilians, of all people, in this critical moment. We're endangering them, and no offense," and he looks to Gus and he's like, "they seem vagabond. When literally the clue to why we are being hunted is that way," and he points kind of like lazily in the direction of where they were coming from. "We need to find the crate. We need to know why we're being hunted, and that's our first lead."
Do I get the sense with the storm approaching that the guards may not be around the ship at this moment? At this juncture, if you will.
It doesn't... Well, okay, give me an insight check.
14.
14. It's pretty safe to assume that between the dragon siren and this strange, unprepared shift in weather, that the guards have their hands overflowing. Presence literally anywhere is probably a strange thing.
You're right, Elric. We should capitalize on this. We need to get this clue in order to clear our names. I don't like what's going on. But I did leave a note in case we need to leave, saying what we're searching for is on that ship and to keep an eye out if there's any movement on any items from it.
Another thing, Captain, do you think it's safe to leave a paper trail?
I also mentioned that his apprentice was safe and in our care.
And Murin shouldn't even be with us. She has nothing to do with this, and if we are just putting her in danger, I will not allow her to come to harm.
Well, like it or not, she is here now. We can't go back and change it. I wish we could.
We could just leave. We could just leave them all. Thus, them avoiding danger, at least.
Apparently,
the
Gus
danger
is
we put on.
overhearing all this.
Yeah, no, Gus, he doesn't give a shit.
He's right here. He's sitting right there, just like.
It's like Gus looks like a vagabond. He's like.
Yeah, he's right, probably. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm blind. I can't hear what you're saying.
He's blind. You know?
Don't
He's
speak louder! My eyes are closed!
Exactly. He did say no offense.
None taken?
Captain, I will follow your orders. But know that this is very challenging for me at this time.
Your grievance is understood.
Neither of you are going anywhere without getting me out of here.
As you say, Elder, we will get you out of here. Then he just looks to Captain Kellum. He's like, is your orders to go to the crate? Or is it to follow Murin?
Now's the perfect time to go for that crate.
Aye, sir. And Elric will start heading in that direction.
From the sky, can I see them diverting?
Yep, you have been keeping an eye on the party and keeping watch out for anything shenanigan-wise.
You absolutely see as Elric just breaks off and the other two continue in the correct direction.
Kellum is going to break off, follow Elric.
Gus follows Elric. Yeah, he doesn't
So
think
just
like
Blair running
50
into
feet
the dark.
ahead, like power
Just leave
walking.
Murin.
Murin, she's not gonna get him out of this place. She lives here. He's going after Elric.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like to imagine Murin's like talking out loud, like, "Oh, I hope everyone's okay. Over here is like this thing, like just walking alone."
She's not.
It's for her own good.
We just
She
want
doesn't
this
need to be
cinnamon
with
bun
us.
to be okay.
I know.
It's for the best.
They're gonna abandon the cinnamon bun on the shoreline, and she's gonna get wrecked or something. It's gonna.
No, she has a babysitter.
We-
She has a pirate.
We ruined her day.
We ruined her life.
Or like we
I
ruined
was gonna say,
in a
day?
day.
No,
in
life.
a day.
So,
I mean, I was gonna go
yeah.
after them, but I guess if Gus is going that way,
yeah, so
what
far
it-
3 people have turned
how do
around.
I-
How does Bill react?
how do I feel about leaving her alone in this world as the waters are crashing down? God.
You notice she seems fully willing to like run in there and start helping people. Like this, the crashing waves don't seem to distress her as much as the thought is people might be getting hurt in the waves that should not be there.
Who am I to leave a beautiful damsel in distress? I will go after her.
Okay, so then you two are continuing towards the docks.
I will watch them running back towards the auction house and struggle with myself for a moment in the air before I turn and kind of dive down and head down towards Moirin. I mean, I do move faster than everyone else. I'm a fucking rogue. So, I don't know. I catch up to you with a dash and kind of land, and you feel like a hand on your shoulder. And I say,
Oh, what?
"Darling, I think your friends have abandoned you.
Where are they going? What are they
I
doing?
believe they are running back to find something. I don't know. I wasn't close enough to hear everything they were mumbling. It's quite muffled out here."
It's getting warm.
Fantastic. But yeah, what is the condition of people at the docks? Like, it doesn't seem like an emergency handled. Have people mostly evacuated, or are there people like struggling?
Okay,
Is it just
so
me or is it getting warmer?
No, I feel it too.
So to describe the two scenes that are going on, Moira and Bill arrive at the docks, and there's a mixture of reactions. The people that live in topsoil and Ceasefire are reacting well, but still like in emergency mode. The people who live in Ceasefire are not affected. They know that they just have to jump back in the water; they'll be fine. And the people that grew up on topsoil have emergency preparations ready, and they're setting their shelters up. A lot of people are trying to like help the tourists and guests, shuttling and ushering them in directions. The waves splashing up aggressively over top of boats, and as the water enters over the train, it stops a few inches above it, where the like an invisible tube would be around the pillars and just hydrophobically slide down around it. Um, some people are entering the train, and there's someone on the train with a wand up to their throat, announcing to the crowd that the train will depart to get out of the weather. Um, they will take capacity and go. Um, and the air is getting thicker with mist and brine as the waves and heat kind of create a foggy effect. While all of this chaos at the dock is happening, Callum, Elric, and August turned back to go where precisely?
I would presume back to the stable where I think they lost all the crate, right? Or wherever.
Yeah, so
Okay.
we're going to where the ruins of the ship is.
Okay, so you are heading back towards the stable. The streets are empty as people are doomsday prepping,
Yeah, I
and
will
you
say it's at a. I will be like running, like it
mhm,
is like a dead sprint.
yeah. And as the three of you enter past the tent flap that is the front door and enter into the stable itself, um, two and three of you see that LaRue and their assistants are packing up and moving some of the auction items. We'll start with the auction house.
So as we kind of enter and see this, have they noticed us yet?
Not yet. They're very busy in moving some of this product. It looks like.
Um, I will offer a nod to the two of them, and I will start walking towards the ship. Trying to be a little stealthy, like maybe not announcing my presence.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Elda, do you want to keep a little? I was going to ask, do you want to keep a lookout? Do you want to sneak with me?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here to help. As long as we're getting out of here.
Understood. Um, and I guess Elric will cast Pass Without a Trace.
All right. So all of you have a +10 to stealth. And Callum was moving towards the covered vehicle, right? You said you weren't really stealthing; you were just kind of casually walking there, not trying to draw attention.
Yeah, well, I mean, if we had pass without a trace, I'd feel
Mhm.
pretty comfortable in that. If at any point I feel
back.
died. We were starting a funeral, you know?
Yeah, I was already
Exactly.
planning a eulogy.
We had
Shuffled it up again a bunch. I decided I wanted to be a player now. Uh,
Oh, Grammy boy.
all right, fine. I guess I'm slid back into a dungeon master seat. Well,
Hello. Let's see. I think we're all.
apologies for the technical issue.
we're
everyone.
definitely not all in the right place.
No,
Yeah.
absolutely not.
I'm Bill now.
Everybody
Bill
but
is
Graham
August.
is in the right spot.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Let me work my magic.
Exactly. Elric's wearing,
We're
Yes,
gonna
Zeller.
try some new things.
While everyone
Exactly.
plays magical hats and disguises self as each other.
I can't believe that they just missed like the greatest Dungeons and Dragons moment of all time when it cut out.
Yeah.
Like that.
I am
Yeah, right.
so
I don't really
sorry.
feel like recreating the scene, you know?
It was-
The
it was-
energy would be there.
It was so amazing. We shouldn't talk about it ever again.
So,
Yeah.
all right, let's half-ass it this time
Okay.
around.
Wow.
But in the meantime,
But
yes,
as I was saying, if I get the feeling that they are kind of like that second sense right before someone turns around, I will cast invisibility.
Okay.
And try to be quiet about it, but otherwise I'm just gonna count on pass without a trace.
So then I assume because of the range of pass without trace, Elric and August also are heading up towards the covered ship.
Yes.
Okay. So the three of you, right now it seems like LaRue is occupied moving smaller crates onto, it sounds like some type of vehicle or wagon or something outside of a side exit. This vehicle is probably large enough to consider itself a small house of its own. And based on the shaping of the cloth covering it, it is only part of a ship, as there is a distinct airship shape to like one half of it, and then a jagged flattening on the other.
Judging by the look of the ship, or look of like the flattening, is that where I assume that the ship was damaged primarily when it crashed?
So are you like pulling the tarp down off?
Yeah, so I'll try and sneak under the tarp.
Oh, you're gonna go under the tarp?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have dark vision?
As an elf, yes.
Okay. So you slide under the tarp to see the remains of a vehicle, an airship, standard like military from Ansea airship. You're keen enough to know that this is not your airship. This is just an airship. There aren't really signs of battle damage more than someone just chose to saw it in half. Looks like a fresh off the factory cut in half ship.
How did they get our things? If this wasn't the ship they got it on.
Well, it could be a number of ways, Captain. When the ship went down, was it over like oceans or was it over land?
It was over the ocean near the chunk of land known as the Dreamlands.
Mm-hmm. They may have salvaged it, flotsam, jetsam, and simply brought it here.
The ship doesn't look like it's going to get us out of here. It doesn't look like it can fly.
No. From my history in the military, can I identify this ship?
It doesn't have the stern where the name of ships normally are, and it bears no bridge nor flag. you can tell that it is a like schooner-sized reconnaissance type airship. Based on how new it is, it probably didn't even get a name before it was turned into pretend museum pieces.
Such a waste.
Yes.
So looking about, as we noted before, does Elric see anything that he might have seen in that crate in the general area? As again,
the stable itself, or under the tarp of the ship?
Under the tarp of the ship.
Under the tarp of the ship, there really doesn't look like there's anything. It doesn't even look like if this was a car, there's not even cushioning. It's just chassis. There's no other crates under here.
Well, then I guess you would stealthily move outwards then to see what everyone else is packing up and see if you can recognize anything else.
Yeah.
And while also turning to Kellum and pulling out his spell book and be like, by the way, I apologize. I meant to give this to you before.
No, thank you. I appreciate it. Many decades of work went into this, and I will tuck it into my robes. I think we should have a talk in the room about where we acquired the goods.
Are you talking about a talk or like a talk?
Let's see.
Because I'm kind of ready for the talk portion. I'm pretty angry, Captain.
Understood, as am I. But let's give him a chance to be cordial.
As you say, by your leave, Captain.
And I will exit the tarp and I'll say, Mr. LaRue.
All right. As you say that, let's rewind and jump back over to the shoreline. What are Bill and Moirin up to as they see all of the chaos happening down on the shore?
Well, Moirin, being who she is, a consummate helper, is also trying to help these frantic tourists not get just body slammed by these waves as they are trying to get to the train. And that would be primarily, I guess, what she sort of falls into as just what she's doing. She's keeping an eye out, especially for anyone who happens to get, their feet swept out from under them and getting dragged towards, like, the docks, especially with the way the waves are going. She's particularly looking out for that and trying to sort of snatch people away from such a fate, and trying to get as many people as possible that want to go on the trains to the trains, and people that are sort of like coming in, sort of warning them away, primarily.
All right. And what about Bill?
Can I get a sense of how long it's going to take before this train is filled to capacity and it leaves?
Yeah, you've planned robberies of this train before. Like, train heists are on everyone's dream list. So you know that it's probably like a 200-person fill.
Okay, and at like what kind of speed is it like filling?
It's filling at a point that like you may have to push a couple people off the docks to get on the train.
To even get on right now, and they're not even here. They're elsewhere.
Yeah, it looks like, like you would be able to get there if you were to go there now. There's no way in hell the three others will get to this train.
It was a simple plan, and we fucked around and went the wrong way and split up, and now I don't have enough people to even man an airship. We need more hands than this. Oh, fuck. I will, I guess, head over towards Moirin and, like, I guess as she's helping someone, like, up, like, reach down and, like, grab their other arm. So, like, I'm on the other side of them as you look over. Darling, I'll just like kind of like take my hands off the person as they head off. I think this train situation is not going to help for our friends, and perhaps I could get on it, and then you will never see me again. Or,
It's getting real warm.
you know, I was going to say something, but I don't think I want to be here anymore. I think I would rather be on an airship, where I said before, and
You're not going to want to be on an airship because there is a hurricane brewing. You feel
darling,
that heat.
I understand.
You feel that
it.
heat. It's not going to help. No
Okay.
one's going to be getting off this island in another 10 minutes.
Is this a volcano? Do I know?
A volcano? As far as everyone knows, this is a pile of dirt that collected on top of a piece of coral.
Because that just normally happens. Okay.
Very much so. It's getting very
Floating
warm.
trees
and
are awesome, actually.
yeah.
Okay.
Weirin is interpreting this of this increasing heat is just there is a hurricane that is going to form right over us. It's going to be awful.
We see that, but I don't want to be here.
Yes, and so Weirin is probably
I want
going
to-
to actually take Bill and try and talk Bill down as to what the evacuation plan should be for Bill, which is to get to the higher ground at this point.
That's what I'm saying. Why are we here? I want to get
I'm
up
here
into
helping
the air.
people get out. So you know what? You go follow where they went. I'll be here, and I'll follow you when I can. Go. Shoo!
I'd rather not leave you alone.
I'll be fine. I can swim. I can breathe the water. I will be fine.
Darling, no one's looking for you right now, but after this, if there are government agencies functioning after a catastrophe, you are with us, you are seen with us. Do you know how to hide?
She just gets this like helpless look of like, of course I don't know how to hide in my life.
I understand the urge to help people. You know, sometimes I do help people, sometimes I don't, sometimes I do. I get it. We're all complex creatures. But you should not stay here. None of us should stay here.
Fine. And she just sort of like gives that I've given up of like I'll follow you. She's just gonna follow wherever you go at this
I'm
point.
so sorry. I get my mother voice on sometimes, but you are not my daughter. I understand this. Let's go.
And yep.
As that happens, this is when Callum stepped out of the tent, and you see LaRue and the two that were working at the stables before, and LaRue's directing them to put a box on. You came out and said, Mr.
Mr. LaRue.
What? Hello, you should not be here right now. There's several sets of alarms going on.
Oh, I'm so sorry. You see, our introductions were cut short earlier.
I don't even remember meeting you, but all right then. I apologize, and I'd love to socialize, but there's a storm brewing, it looks like, and also I hear that there's a dragon, so...
Well, then I'll make it brief. I don't want to waste such a busy man's time. Where did you get my stuff? And where is the rest of my ship?
Those are real good questions, a voice says from above the stables itself, as the three of you look upwards to see two very armed and armored figures looking down at the three of you, one of which is holding a handful of bounty papers. Two of the faces, you recognize one of them looking suspiciously fresh, with August's face on it, but younger-ish and with no headband. As that is happening on the beach, as Moirin and Bill turn to start heading inwards, there is this approaching wave of screams from the civilians as that thick, hot mist begins to coalesce and form into the shape of humanoid figures with wings about a foot high, and they start lunging towards people and vehicles and property. And as both of these scenes are getting set up, that is where we will end tonight's session.
Shazam!
Oh boy.
We thought we were in trouble at the end of last session.
Yeah. What is the phrase? Out of the pot into the fryer?
Yeah.
Well,
Out of the frying pan into the fire. Great work,
into the
team.
volcano tsunami.
It's
Are there
getting
volcano
warmer.
tsunamis? Yeah, it's getting warmer. It's getting real hot now.
I don't think you want to be in the water when it gets that hot.
Yeah.
Unless you want to become delicious.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Free
boy.
lobster for everybody after this.
Oh. But, it's that time of the night, friends, where we have to say goodbye. Which is really tragic and really sad. But it means, you get to hear where you can find all of us, and also, you get to hear about all the cool projects we're working on, and also, you get to hear about all the other things we do. So, I'll go first. I'd like to know 3 things from all of my companions after I go, which is, who are they, where can we find them, and what are cool projects that they're working on? Because that's all the good stuff. Hi everybody, my name is Graham, or Graham Crackers. Welcome to the channel if it's your first time here. Here at Graham Crackers, we play MMORPGs, RPGs, and TTRPGs. As for where you can find me here, or you can find me at Twitter at Graham Crackers with a 1 at the end of it. Otherwise, you can find me here on Tuesdays, alternating weeks, DMing Shards of Anarian and Anarian's Rest, or you can find me every Friday here at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, playing Kellum Brightstar, your terrible, terrible disaster wizard. But enough about me. I want to know about the most important people at the table.
He means me. Hi, everybody. It's me, Kari. I played Muirin today. You can't really find me anywhere. I am a Graham Crackers exclusive at this point. You might find me in Guild Wars 2. My character name, my player ID down there is in the chat. If you see me there, you can definitely hit me up for questions, for hanging out, for having a little fishing party. They're the best. I highly recommend them. I don't really have anything I'm working on right now outside of this stream, these fun D&D sessions with my beautiful friends. You can find me here every Friday playing Muirin. You can occasionally these days find me on every other Tuesday during the Anarian's Rest campaign. I will be guesting in and out as I can. But that's where you'll see me. Have fun.
Hello, everyone. My name's Jeremy, and I had the privilege of playing Elric Freyason with these fine folk yet again. And as others have said before, I'm Graham Crackers exclusive. I have no other projects going on right now. You can find me on all sorts of social medias, usually under the handle Dane Darkstride. But there's not a whole lot going on right now, as life's pretty chaotic. But I do appreciate your time, and I hope you enjoyed the episode.
Once again, I'm Riley. I played Gus, or August. I am also a Graham Crackers. This is the only place on the internet you will find any trace of me. But I don't really have any projects going on other than this. I'm building myself an off-grid house and cabin this year, so that project planning's in full swing. But you can't visit, so.
All right. right. Hey everyone, I am Pharaoh. I played Bill. You can find me here every other Tuesday on Shards of Anarian, where I play the now deeply angry and traumatized Singer Starmain. Who's going through a subclass change, so that's fun. Love getting a new Paladin Oath when you're so mad. I otherwise can be found on Twitter. Link is in the chat at Ferocious. And my other projects are mostly filling too many of my evenings with DMing campaigns, but they are not streamed. So, you can, I don't know, if you're curious, you could hit me up on, actually, yeah, message me on Twitter or something and we can chat. Over to you, Media.
And hello there, I am Media Flare, they, them. You can find me on Twitch and Twitter and most other social media platforms at Media Flare. You can also find me, obviously, here on Fridays, or in the Stark Citizen community. I operate as the character Russell Gainsley, a nervous but confidently growing intern at Hubwire Intergalactic. There are no other projects in my retinue right now as I'm going through some technical difficulties, but stay tuned. And if you are looking for another person to run or play at your table, give me a call. DMs are open. Oh, I also wanted to leave the party with a curious question to keep their imaginations boiling. Who do you think these mysterious figures are that are standing above the party with wanted posters in hand?
Tweedledee and Tweedle Fireball.
I'm gonna go out on a limb.
About to get introduced to a quarterstaff.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that this was a callback to our title and that these are bounty hunters. Just gonna take that wild leap of faith.
Yeah, wow. Shooting at the wall.
Expert deduction there.
Wait a second. Did that guy sound a lot like the
Goliath that was helping the whole time? Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was Goliath.
That's the Goliath's voice.
Okay.
That's why
I was trying
really
to
big.
remember what the Minotaur from My Scene's voice sounded like.
Oh, it's not him.
Now that I'm looking back, they do kind of sound similar.
Yeah, I was like, they sounded similar.
Got like a Bob's Burger and Archer thing going on.
Yeah,
yeah,
slightly
definitely
different.
that.
Yeah,
Or the can of
ever so slightly different. But no, that was Goliath's voice, and that Goliath had been helping at the auction undercover, apparently, because he was here the whole time.
We fell right into his trap twice.
Indeed.
Aye, an elaborate ruse.
But that's okay. It's a matter of where the dice end up.
You know, now he's in range, right?
Yeah.
And there's not 12 other guards around him.
Yep. There's a lot less innocent
collateral.
casualties.
So there's a lot less collateral damage.
Yeah. I feel a lot less conflicted about casting Fireball next turn.
For sure.
But if the storm hits, my only qualm is that I can't hold person for longer than a minute, because what a flex move to be like, oh, there's a volcano, I'm going to hold person and walk away. Bye.
Bye.
But, see you all later, everybody. Stay happy, stay healthy, and stay hydrated. Just because it's goodbye for now doesn't mean it's goodbye forever, and we'll be back soon on Tuesday. So, enjoy your weekend from all of us here. Love ya. Hate to leave ya, but it's bedtime. Bye for now.